Hi, welcome back to the channel. So today I've got another amazing Montana Sapphire that I'm going to set, and it's a nice little setting that I've got. It's got a small little diamond at the top of it. It's a yellow gold, 14 karat gold setting. So let's get going.
So here's my setting. Here's my Montana Sapphire, and you can already kind of tell that it's just a real treasure if you look at it. It's got the right light angle cuts on the bottom pavilion of the stone, and it just really has a nice flair to it. So this is, I'm just going to take it out a second. This is my setting here. And what I've already done, I've already notched this setting. I've already pretty much got it where I need it to be. That's why it was sitting in there so nice. So let's just first talk about the setting for just a moment. So what I've done here is I've went ahead, I've notched the bottom two prongs here. This is a 3-prong setting. I've notched the bottom 2 prongs. You can kind of see right there. To the shape of the stone, and then also I put the top prong here just a little bit forward, and that makes it so that when I push that stone into that top prong, it makes it so that it sits perfectly, and you can make a small adjustment with that one. It's just the way I decided to set this particular stone. So that's the setting. It's got a nice little accent diamond here at the top, and pretty straightforward. Just a pre-manufactured setting. I just think that yellow gold, or yellow 14K, actually presents the blue stones from Montana quite well, and they really just make those blue stones really pop out. So anyways, let's talk about the stone a little bit. This stone, I'll show you from the bottom. So this has just got a straight 16 faceted pavilion. It is my favorite pavilion cut on a Montana Sapphire, and honestly it's just because of how they look when they're flipped over. They just have the best brilliance that you could ask for out of a sapphire, because you've got all the light angles coming straight up through the bottom, and so it just makes an amazing sparkle when you turn them over. So it is my favorite facet, starting with this bottom pavilion here, just 16 facets straight all the way to the... Anyway, so that's the stone. Just gonna go ahead here, I'm just gonna weigh it. So this stone, it looked to me like it was about a 6.5 millimeter, not quite a 7 millimeter round stone. And set it here. Basically a carat and a half, a little less, carat 0.45, and so that's what we're going to use here. Okay, one more quick little note that I noticed about this sapphire here is, I'm not sure if you're able to see it or not through the camera, but there's a little bit of asterism right here at the bottom corner of the stone. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to position that asterism possibly underneath a prong. I just think aesthetically that'll look better. So we're gonna start by basically putting the stone in the setting. And then what I'm gonna do is just rotate this until I get the asterism in the correct spot. And also, because of the way the facets are, I want to have the facets orientation make sense when you look at it from top to bottom or left to right. And so there's basically an 8-sided table on this particular stone, and so I would like to have that positioned just right. Okay, I have it orientated the way that I'd like to have it orientated, and so now all I'm going to do is just press. I've just got my prong pusher here. Just going to press this because I've already set this front prong down just a little bit. It's going to hold it in the right position if I just back this prong up into it. I'm going to do the same thing on this prong. Just going to back that one right into the setting there. I've got just a small amount of movement on that stone yet, so that's a little better. So now I'm looking for, just from the side view, I'm looking for those seats that I cut to line up with the girdle edge, which they are pretty well lining up. And then also what I'm looking for is the stone to sit flat in the setting. And if that's not going to happen, then I'm going to have to make an adjustment on that forward prong. But as of now, it's looking pretty good. I might have to raise the camera up just a little bit. Now I'm going to switch to my pliers, and I'm just going to put some gentle pressure on these prongs from the top, and I'm going to put the bottom jaw directly underneath it, and just a slight amount of pressure there. Just going to switch sides here. See if I've got that prong going over the top of that stone the way I want it. What I'm doing now, I'm trying to pull that prong forward a little bit. That looks better. So now I've got that prong going right over the edge of the stone. And I think I'm going to do it just a little bit further. There. And I'm also paying attention to that front prong. Okay. Now I'm looking at the stone, looking at the piece in general, and I'm looking to see if the orientation of the stone lines up with the way that the piece should look. And it looks like the stone needs to rotate just a little bit. That's what I'm going to do next. And in this case, I just need to rotate the stone only, so I'm just going to grab with my pliers right here and rotate the stone. That looks better. Okay, so this is kind of at a spot where I call it just snugged. So the stone can somewhat move inside there, but it's not so tight that it's seated and finished. So it just allows you a little bit of movement in in the stone just to get it set perfectly. So I've got these back prongs nice and tight. I'm just going to finish this off by pulling that front prong down just a little bit and just making sure that that's seated good. Okay, and now same thing. I'm just going to put some light pressure here, just enough so I can barely feel that prong move just a little bit, and also watch while I'm doing it so I can see just a slight movement in the prong, down pressure, and also on this last prong here. Okay, so that's finished. There's only a few things left to do here, and that's just make sure there's no tool marks on the prongs. And then also a lot of times, you know, on the back of these, when you get done, you could have some tool marks on the back, which this one looks really quite clean. And so I'm just gonna polish that up, and then that'll finish that piece. So right now I'm switching to my brass brush, which I find works really well for polishing gold, especially the 14K. Okay, so yeah, and then the brass brush, you really don't have to worry about it affecting the sapphire at all. It's just not gonna affect the finish, the polish, or anything on that stone. So it's safe to use on sapphire. Anyway, this one turned out really good. I'm gonna take some better quality photos of it. It's a very, very nice piece. I'm very happy with how it turned out. So. Sapphires are just such a special resource we have here in America, and we should all take full advantage of it. You know, just the experience of you know, getting a Montana Sapphire for the first time has got to be just one of the best. You know, this particular Montana Sapphire just turned out amazing, and it's really hard to beat. You know, that sky blue Montana Sapphire color, you know, especially backed up against that 14 karat yellow gold. So if you like the video, please go ahead, hit that like, subscribe button, and until next time, take care.